Hey guys, it's me Chan Dragon. So today's video will cover for visual pull for Luna Patch Edition. So between Never, Furina, Arlecchino or Zhongli. But this time I will just make it more simple, mostly because kind of burn out to make a long video. So I'll just make it shorter and less editing stuff. So this is possibly a little bit more biased based on my past experience, so it will be less detailed. So yeah, let's get started. Let's start first with the first character is Never. So Never in general is just strong main DPS. Nothing much to talk aside, like she's actually strong. I think one of the top DPS. So actually she's pretty strong with the notes that you need Llama. Okay, if you don't have that, it will go down. So yeah, don't expect too much if you don't have Llama. And another thing, she's relatively easy to play. I know some people say like, oh, you need to do the dash cancel. It's actually not that hard. It's actually very like straightforward. It's not hard to play actually. So in general, it's still pretty much quite easy to play. Of course, she has a couple of notes that the first one actually already mentioned, which is if you want your Never to become top DPS, you really need Lauma. Because if you don't have Lauma, their performance decreases quite a lot. But if you really don't have Lauma and really like Never, at the very least, you need Nahida. If you don't have Lauma and you don't have Nahida, I recommend to not pull at all. Another additional things is that it will even better if you build Aino, because like basically if you use just like other like hydro option, let's say like Furina, Aino will still become a better option too, which is crazy. Just because like Notcry team in general is so niche, really like favor you need to pair with this like Notcry character. Yeah, it just makes sometimes the team also feels restrictive and not so much like creativity to mix and match in here too. So yeah, she is one of the character that send like Flints or Skirk where it's dependent on one support, which is Lauma. Another thing, I think some people may find her gameplay is quite boring and a little bit clunky, mostly because you just want to do like charge attack dash, something like that. But personally, I don't find that boring. But yeah, again, that's subjective. Another thing also regarding her Farden Dew, sometimes like when you do too much and you forget, you almost run out and suddenly it didn't trigger, so it kinda a little bit feels clunky. Or even you forgot like the skill already ran out, so you charge attack, it didn't trigger. So yeah, it's a little bit small things. But in the end, I still have my recommendation for you to pull for Never, which is first, if you have Lauma, then yes, that's where I recommend. If you have Lauma, pulling Never I think will be super good because it will make us a very top DPS. And of course, next, if you're looking for meta DPS with notes you have Lauma, which is back to the first requirement, then yeah, I recommend it. It will become a meta team, especially in Dendro Deep. Next, if you just want simple and easy to play gameplay, then yeah, Never is one of them. And lastly, of course, if you like the character gameplay, feel free to pull for her. As for Never, should you pull for the early Constellation or signature weapon? And if you ask me between C1 and signature weapon, actually both of them is quite similar, so whatever path that you choose, it's not really that matter. But if you just want to be super specific, then I recommend to pull for the signature weapon. It's a little bit better, because the weapon gives you a bunch of crit damage, elemental mastery, crit rate, basically just buffing Never by a lot though. But of course, if you want to go for C1, C1 is still pretty much a good consolation. It gives you buff for your charge attack, which is primary damage from the Never itself. And of course, if you want to go C2, it's already better than weapon. It gives you a bunch of buff in your charge attack, give elemental mastery, also buffing the elemental burst. So in general, it's already like, it's also another good consolation. Second character is Furina. So Furina in general is the main upside is that she's relatively a universal character because she's just a universal buffer. It can just buff everyone pretty much, even like Geo character, which is good. Also, the summon can be handy for some like enemy, let's say like the dragon. Basically, the summon can chase the enemy itself, which is pretty good. However, I want to give you a reminder is that although like she's pretty much universal as a buffer, but if you talk about like topics right now for the recent top teams, we barely even use Furina though. Like the latest one that we still using Furina as a top choice, which is in the Skirk team, and another one which is in the Neuvillette, but Neuvillette already considered quite old. But if you talk like, let's say Mawika, Flints, like as per I know, even Never, we don't even use Furina anymore. Like even in Notcry team, I know it's a better option, which is ridiculous because how the power creep and the team comp recently changed become super niche, it makes the value of Furina kinda a little bit fell off. And also that kinda makes me a little bit worried also regarding the power creep recently. If you see like Lauma that actually just power creep Nahida, and there's a chance like even maybe in the future character that Hydro, maybe like Colombina can just like power creep Furina, and yeah, it's just pretty much like unfortunate. And also she kinda want a specific healer, so sometimes like it can make the team come kinda restrictive or kinda like quite uncomfortable, because you kinda really need like character that can heal, especially the one that can heal everyone. So yeah, that's a little bit notes. So in here, my recommendation for you to pull for Furina, mostly first if you need a universal buffer, but of course with the expectation that you don't expect that Furina will be always the top choice, especially like for the future teams. I'm not really sure, so as long you just feel like, yeah, you just need universal, not the best pick, then yeah, you can take Furina, because in general she's still pretty much universal. Second, maybe you are a main of like Skirk, Neverlet right now, then yeah, if you don't have Furina yet, then yes, I can still say she's still pretty much good choice. Third, of course, if you like the character and gameplay, and Furina is literally, as far as I know, the most popular character, because if you really like her, yeah, feel free to pull for her. As for the Constellation or signature weapon, just straight up pull for the Constellation. Furina's signature weapon is good, but not like C0 to C5. Basically, that signature weapon only good if you have C6 or you want to make like main DPS Furina. Why? Because that weapon doesn't give any energy and you might be struggle in terms of like energy recharge in here. So you kinda need to change to ER sense, and come to the point, just better for you to equip like the ER like weapon. Let's say like Festering Desire or even like Favonius or the pipe one. So in the end of the day, it's kind of weapon that I don't recommend for you if you don't aim for C6. So yeah, go Constellation all the way. But my main recommendation for Constellation is C2. C1, yeah, it give a little bit increase, but it's not that much. So for me, I think the one that the most worthy is C2. So in short, if you don't aim for C2, just stay at C0, no weapon, just equip like another ER weapon. Next character is Arlecchino. So Arlecchino in general is still pretty much a strong main DPS. Mostly we want to play in Vaporize or even Meltdown. But I can say again, although she's still strong, but if you just want to compare to the recent released TPS, she's arguably, you can even say, already kinda getting power creep, or at least like for the top DPS right now, Arlecchino don't get so much benefit anymore, especially when Maoika come, everyone just use Maoika, and in general for me even like Maoika feels better, and especially all the endgame that very like incentivize like recent character DPS release, let's say like this lunar new like reaction, so it's really actually kinda like selling like flints in Nefa, like Lauma never so on, something like that though. So because of that, like you can say although she's strong, but she's no longer become the top choice. Even people will use more Foreza than I can say Arlecchino in terms of picking the top DPS right now. So yeah, because of that, like it's quite unfortunate. And also like I can say she's typical DPS also that maybe some of people will not find comfortable. She has this mechanic of Bond of Life. So in order for you to maintain her DPS to be always strong is to maintain her Bond of Life. So the problem is that when you want to heal, you need to use the burst. You cannot just heal normally. It's kind of difficult. So the moment you use burst, it will remove the Bond of Life, which you can lose DPS to, which kinda not convenient for some people. You actually need to dodge for some attack. So that's why in the end, if you ask my recommendation for you to pull for like, it's mostly first if you just really like her, the character, or in terms of playstyle, and you want to use her as a main carry in your team, then yeah, she's still pretty much strong. You can still clear endgame content easily. However, if you want to consider like top choice for you to clear, especially like Stygian, just focus recent DPS, let's say like Maoika, Skirk, or if you want to play like Notcry that's still relatively strong, but not you need their special support like Lauma and Ineva. If you have that, then yeah, better to choose them like Flints or Never. As for pulling for signature weapon or early Constellation, and for me actually C1 and signature weapon for Arlecchino, they quite similar in terms of performance. I think in here the main or the major determinant in here, whether you care more about damage. If you care more about damage, then just choose for C1, because it's just basically buffing the whole like Bond of Life, so any single attack of it is actually quite big increase. However, if you care about increased damage too, but also you want to care also about aesthetic and the effect, because Arlecchino, the signature give special effects. So if you care about that, then just pull for the signature weapon. As for C2, I think it's a nice addition too. It deal a lot of damage, but take notes, it's not buff the whole rotation. It's just basically it get like additional move. When you want to get the Bond of Life, you hold the charge attack, and then basically it will have like additional spike that deal quite big damage. It's still a good Constellation, but again, you have to know when to use it. If you use like enemy bot to die, that move actually kind of waste. So it's kind of somehow situational, but regardless, it's still a good Constellation. The last character is Zhongli. So Zhongli in general, the main upside of him is that he has thick shield, which is just for survivability, and of course a little bit of debuff to the enemy. But again, I think survivability right now in Genshin in 2025, it's not contribute that much anymore. Like even like Citlali alone, it's already enough even for you to clear like Stygian, like literally super endgame. You will still survive it, and even with Kirara. So it's not something that actually kinda wah anymore. Even Lanyan on specific setup, it even can have like thicker shield than Zhongli. And even you want to say, but he has still a pretty much like useful buff. Like Silonen also have like a better buff even though. So yeah, because of that, my main reason for you to pull for Zhongli is just basically because you like the character, or you just really like Zhongli because of course he's Archon, so you know, pretty much like popular character, and that's the main reason actually you want to pull for him. As for Zhongli, you should pull for Constellation or signature weapon. For me, for Zhongli, just get one copy if you really like him, and that's pretty much it. The Constellation is not worthy anymore. Like literally first year Constellation is not really that great compared to right now. Like the recent Constellation is just not even close. So yeah, that's why I really say again, just don't pull just one copy. Even you ask like how about the weapon is not even great for him at the first place. It's just better to pull stuff of Homa if you have like pull Huta weapon, and that's even better though, because at least it can give sticker shield and give some more damage, that's better than the Vortex itself. But I guess if you really want to pull his Constellation, then I can say if you care about co-op, then I can say C2 is pretty much okay, mostly because he will finally give shield to the team itself, which is pretty good if you care about co-op, but that's it. So that's pretty much it. So if you ask me what is my verdict, then I can say again, if you need a character that just versatile, universal, you can use like in different team com, then my answer is Furina. However, I already say before again, you have to take notes that because Genshin lately, the direction of the team com itself and the power creep kind of concerning, especially the team com becomes so super niche. You see like Nahida, it's actually getting power creep by Lauma just because this new lunar reaction stuff. And yeah, this is also can be kind of worry for Furina too. What if like better Hydro come, or even like Colombina just become so universal? So you just need to a little bit cautious with that. The alternative choice you can go for Never if you have Lauma, because Never with Lauma it will make this team become one of the top DPS team right now, which is I can say maybe you will like it if you aiming for top like meta team. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you like this video, feel free to hit the button and like, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.